apologize. I made the mistake of going out for lunch and got stuck in construction traffic. And I still haven't had lunch. All right. How's everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right, no problem. I just got here myself. Oh, goodness. All right, folks, we get down to the wire here. We want to make sure that we get everything turned in on time. Several of you still are working on the dichotomous key gizmo. I want to, let me get to your, I have so many classes open right now. All right, looking at, yeah, several people need to turn in dichotomous key. And then I'm going to go through the final project with you. So if you've turned in that, the last thing that you have to do is the final project. And I'm going to go through that with you right now. Again. All right, so there is no final exam. There is a final project. It is worth 100 points, so it is very important that you make sure that you get this done. It is due when things are due, so don't wait till the last minute to do it. I would like to do a gallery walk of everybody's project when we're done with this, but it has to be completed by next Friday. All right, so let me show you what you are required to do. All right, you are going to pick one plant, one animal of your choice. And I'm going to show you an example so you can't pick my plant or my animal. You have to pick another one. It's going to be a slide presentation. So you want to have a title slide with the two animals that the plant and the animal that you pick. And then your first slide should look something like this. So I'm going to give you an example here down to the bottom. So the first things that you have to do is the classification. So your classification, it can look just like this, except you're not going to use my sunflower and my squirrel. So I take points off if you just copy my stuff and call it a day. You have to have your own plant, your own animal. All right, what you want to have on the side. So you want to have a picture of them, and this is their common name. So for this, sunflower is its common name. Then it has its scientific name listed underneath. Over here, the eastern gray squirrel is a common name. Underneath it, it has its scientific name. All right, so you want to start with the name and a picture of each one. Then you want to have the classification system, which is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And next to each one, I need the kingdom for your plant. And so the first ones will be the same. The kingdom, you want one plant, you want one animal. And then everything else should be unique to whatever organism you pick. So I'll give you an example of something that you can do. If you go to, I'm using a lion as an example. If you go, let's see, and pick it already gives you that its common name and its scientific name. It tells you where you can find them. But you want to hit visit. And when you hit visit, it should give you everything else you need as far as classification, behavior, breeding. This one doesn't do the classification like my other site did. All right, so I'm gonna go back. This is a good one, and this one had good pictures. Let me see. Overview. Let's go here. Name, appearance, diet. So that is it. All right, let me pick the other picture that I had. This one. Now, I didn't like this one because it's Wikipedia, but it Wikipedia gives you what you need. All right, so it had the picture of the lion and it gave you the system of classification for you. And then it also tells you where you're going to find it. So when you click on the picture, it will take you to a site that will help you complete that first slide. So this is the classification. Okay, hold on. Let me go back and make sure that that is published. Thank you for telling me that. It should be published. It says published. Let me take it back. Maybe that's published. Okay, hold on. Yes, I gave it a folder. Oh, you're right. It's not published. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. Publish. Okay. The assignment was published, but the module was not. All right, so you should be able to get to it now. Okay, there we go. All right, so again, for the first one, you could do the slide, you could do it just, you can set it up exactly the way I had it set up. The second slide says description of physical traits. So again, I give you an example of a slide that you can copy. Another, again, with your animal. So that would be your first slide. This would be your second slide with your characteristics chart. So again, you would put your two pictures of your common names up here, and these are the characteristics of that particular this particular set of organisms. So you can set your chart up just like this for the second question and then answer it. And that's the side by side stops. After the second question, all right, so the second question was give a description of physical traits. So that was, you can use that chart. Here's where you need to start separating them. And you can do a side by side slide if you want to, but you're going to need to know the habitat for your plant and uh, separate side. And I would rather you do them on separate slides because I don't want you to cram information. I don't want it to be so teeny tiny that I have to struggle to read it. So after the first two slides, separate, have a slide for your plant, and actually you could go through and do all these two questions or these three questions back to back, and then go back and do your animal and do these three questions for that animal. So you want to know, where would we find it? Where on the planet do they live? Do they live in the garden, the tree, in the water? Where do they live? Describe, and then don't just tell me they live in the desert. You need to describe the ecosystem. What are the conditions that they live under? This is a 100-point project, so I don't need short answers because you'll get a short grade. And we don't have time to return it for you to fix it. So you need to tell me as much as possible about where they live and the kind of ecosystem that they live in, the conditions under which they live. What is their job in the ecosystem? Are they a predator? Are they usually the prey? Are they the key species? Are they important to the ecosystem? Will somebody miss them if they're gone? Kind of thing. Remember, we talked about the circle of life. So that's what this question here, what is their role in the ecosystem? And then a fun fact that nobody knows or might not know about your plant or your animal. Okay, so you need a title slide, and then you need a slide that has the references, and then all of this is in between. So this is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want to say these two need to be 7, 8. So this is at least 9 slides. Less than that, you probably didn't do a good job. Okay. Accurate information, clear organization. In other words, like I said, I don't want it all. I showed you how to do a chart for the first two, and then you need to organize the rest of it so that it is clear as to this is about my plant, this is about my animal. Okay. All right. So accuracy, content information, neatness, and visuals have pictures. In other words, you need the one picture up here for those, but you can have a picture of the animal in its ecosystem. You can have a picture of the animal and its role in the ecosystem. So two pictures is not a whole lot. So it should have 3 or 4 pictures in to go with each slide. Okay. All right. And again, this is the example that when you click on that link, this is an example of how you can set up your first 2 slides for those first 2 for the classification information and lifestyle information. All right. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. I need to chat with some of you who I need to make sure that you gonna catch up. Okay. And probably the people I need to catch up with are the ones who are blacked out and not paying me any mind in the first place. All right. But those of you who are looking to pass the class, uh, please make sure that you get everything in no later. Next Wednesday is a good day. That's the day for seniors, but no late work is accepted after the 15th. No late work is accepted after the 15th. So if you have missing assignments and you need to catch up, you need to make sure that they are turned in. Um, this project is due on the 15th. You can get it done before then. All right, so it's due on the 15th. It's not going to be open after the 15th, as you can see as you look underneath. And after the 15th, we still have 2 days of class. Like I said, I'd like to do the gallery walk so that we can share each other's projects so you can look at what other plants and animals other people did. Okay, so we do have a plan to take this out. So again, this is worth 100 points. We're having this instead of an exam. So give it your best shot. This is not the time to give me 2-word answers. Okay. Nice paragraphs, nice pictures, nice organization. Any questions? Any questions? All right. All right. Please be watching for your chat because I may ask you to step out for a breakout room. I guess only one person that I'm looking for is here today. Alrighty, who else can I talk to? Hmm. The people I need to talk to are not here. Except one. Okay.
see me catch feelings for you catch shit they on.
All right, Akari, you're logged in, but you're not responding to my invitation. You were logged in and now you're not. That could be the problem. Mm-hmm. Okay, it looks like absent to me. Oh my gosh, it's almost time to go. All righty. All right, folks, I will see you tomorrow and have a good one. Make sure you're working on those projects, people. Everybody work on their project. Bye. That folks trying to log into the next class already.